So the shift towards greener fuels has plane makers like Airbus and Boeing scrambling to set up biofuel production chains right across the world. With more on this push toward plant power, I'm joined by Darrin Morgan, Director of Sustainable Aviation Fuels at Boeing Commercial. He's at the Paris Air Show, joins us live now. Thanks very much indeed for speaking to us. Welcome to the show. So would you say that we are seeing more interest, perhaps even more investment in biofuels now, precisely because airlines have been suffering from higher oil prices, volatility in prices, and indeed increasing pressure to cut carbon emissions as well?
Thank you for having me. Yes, in fact, those are the two drivers. You hit it on the head for commercial aviation, lowering environmental footprint and adding to the portfolio of options for new fuels. Boeing just flew the 747-8 freighter to the Paris Air Show here on the world's first transatlantic flight solely on a biofuel blend, landed yesterday, and we're very proud of that. We've actually been leading this for about 4 years within the industry, so rather than a mad rush lately, we've actually been on it for about 5 years as an industry. Started out as a technical question. It's advanced into being something that's a significant opportunity for the industry for all the reasons that you've been sharing with your viewers.
But is there enough recognition of that? I mean, I know that you say that efforts have been underway for the past 5 years, but nevertheless, the industry has been criticized for its sluggish response to climate change. If it is a viable, sustainable alternative, then why hasn't more been done before now?
The technologies really didn't exist, is the simple answer. And the reason those technologies exist is because of leadership from governments, private sector, aviation, academic institutions over the past 5 years have come together because aviation was very clearly coalescing around the fact that we needed these fuels, sent a message to the marketplace saying we're open for using these fuels. The technologies came into play. 5 years ago, nobody thought you could fly on a biofuel in aviation. Now, not only can you, but it's actually a very good technology for our industry for many reasons. So yeah, we really drove the technology development.
And that's really interesting, isn't it? You say that the technology wasn't there, and presumably it's still going to require a lot of investment to get it, to a place where it is, where airplanes can use biofuels on a more sustainable basis. We're talking about billions of dollars of investment, right, in the current economic climate. Are you optimistic that that investment will happen?
Yeah, essentially what's going to happen, we believe and others believe, is that the billions that are already being invested in sustainable biofuels globally, next generation technologies, non-food crops, that investment is already happening. What's going to happen now, though, with aviation being such a large and attractive market, is more of that investment is going to be pathed over to aviation. So it's not necessarily that we're going to have to create new aviation fuel supply chains per se. What's going to happen is we're going to tap into the existing trajectory for sustainable biofuels globally. We're going to be part of that, and most people will tell you, if they're in that industry, that we are an attractive market for all kinds of reasons.
So even if the technology is there, what about raw materials? They're still scarce, aren't they? Doesn't that mean that it'll be a while before biofuels really penetrates the aviation market?
Really, this all comes down to where the biomass comes from, as you point out. For aviation or any end user of biofuels, it comes down to having enough material. When I say the technology is new, not only the process technology to make jet fuel is new, but the more promising piece that's new are new generations of feedstocks, types of biomass that use less water or no fresh water, types of biomass that don't compete with food crops, types of biomass that aren't causing food shortages in places that are vulnerable. Those types of options are the types of biomass that are now coming along, emerging technologies, new investment in those technologies, and that's the stuff that's going to be useful for aviation particularly.
Really good to talk to you. Thank you so much, Darrin Morgan, Director of Sustainable Aviation Fuels, Boeing Commercial Planes. Thank you very much indeed for joining us on The Pulse.